Hello, everyone, and welcome to Education 438, Teaching Reading and Writing in the Content Area. My name is Dr. Anne-Marie Garcia-Shahan, and I am going to be your instructor for this kind of blitz course in content area literacy that we'll be engaging in together over the next 4 weeks. So this initial video is an introduction to me and to the course, a very, very brief overview of syllabus highlights, and a day one overview as well. So grab some coffee, I've got some, get comfy, and let's engage in talking about some of the larger goals of this course. So before I jump into the meat of this video, one thing that I want to mention about myself is that I'm a very organic thinker and learner and speaker. So instead of reading from my notes or my lecture notes for these videos, I'm going to run in them as conversationally as I possibly can. And that might mean some tangents sometimes, or they go a little bit longer sometimes, but this is the primary way I'm going to be engaging with you over the course of this class. So yeah, just something to know about me, and I apologize in advance for tangents. So let's get started. This video is going to start off by just letting me introduce myself to you. So as I mentioned, I'm Anne-Marie. Please feel free to call me Anne-Marie. I am an assistant professor of secondary literacy here at UNM. I specialize in critical canon studies, in embodied literacy practices, in arts-based literacy practices, and in looking at literacy both in secondary spaces and in out-of-school adult and teen spaces as well. So one of the reasons why they keep asking me to teach this class is because I'm really passionate about thinking about what literacy looks like in different spaces. So a few other things about myself. I am very, very passionate about the arts. So I actually am the founder and artistic director of a dance company here in town. And I also do a lot of choreography for musical theater around town as well. So those are sort of my passions, my hobbies outside of the work that I do for the two departments I'm in at UNM. And those two departments are, of course, TEALP, Teacher Education, Educational Leadership and Policy, as well as LLSS, Language Literacy and Sociocultural Studies. So I teach classes in both of those departments. I know some of you have had me as a professor before, and maybe some of you will have me again after this class as well. So let's talk briefly about this course. This course is a required course, but it's a really important course that really gets you thinking about what reading, writing, speaking, discussing, multiliteracies look like in your particular content area that you're planning on teaching. So my goal is that you'll leave this course with an understanding of how to better help students build their academic language skills, their reading skills, their writing skills, their skills within multimodal and multiliteracy work. The other kind of huge goal for this course is to prepare you to execute a unit plan. And so one of our major assignments over the next 4 weeks is going to be a literacy-based unit plan that we work towards every week. So you'll leave this class with a unit plan in hand that is literacy focused, connected to Common Core state standards, and connected to a lot of the readings and the works that we do together. But you'll also leave, I'm hoping, with a better understanding of what literacy can look like in the content area that you're planning to teach. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to briefly go over some syllabus highlights. So I know that you are more than capable of reading this giant syllabus on your own, and I apologize, it is a little boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit up the major points for you. So I'm going to pop into Canvas, and I am going to go to our syllabus page and go ahead and open that syllabus. Now, something that I want to say about the syllabus is the syllabus is an organic breathing document, right? So of course I have it ready for you all, but we might negotiate as we go forward, just based on how this class is feeling, what's kind of capturing our interest, etc. But let's go over some main points now. So my office is here, my email's here. Office hours during the summer, virtual and by appointments. I'm always willing to meet on Zoom. If you have questions or need extra help, just reach out. So I am going to mention this so many times in this video, but this is a blended asynchronous synchronous course. It is predominantly asynchronous, but we do have required Zoom meetings every Tuesday from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. And those are non-negotiable. So I want to be upfront about that because if you miss those, if you miss more than one, you will be dropped from the course. Okay. So I'm going to let you read through the College of Education framework on your own, the course description, your learning objectives, all of that. Just make sure that you're going through in your own time. Same thing with the course objectives. The structure I just mentioned, of course, so we know that we have those required synchronous Zoom meetings every Tuesday. Weekly overviews will be posted Sunday evenings. Honestly, I've been doing a lot of work for this course, and I think I'll be able to have all your weekly overviews for the entire 4 weeks to you probably by Monday or Tuesday. But those are definitely posted every Sunday evening. Daily modules will also be posted every morning by 9. Those will include readings, objectives, reader response questions, mini lectures if needed, and in-depth assignments descriptions for the week or day. I also am going to attempt to get those to you early. But this is a crazy course, both for you as students as for me as a professor, in terms of how quick it all comes up. So be patient with me and know that you will have everything that you need every day by 9, if not earlier. As this is an accelerated class, you can expect to have smaller assignments due 3 to 4 days of the week and major assignments due Sunday evenings by midnight. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit more about what that might look like when we talk about the goals for the week, but just know that that's sort of the frame, the structure for the class. Next thing that I want to mention that I haven't already are the dates of these required Zoom meetings that I already brought up. So the Tuesdays are there. There's also an optional support meeting the last Thursday of our course together, just so I can support you in any kind of final unit plan work. Required texts. There are 2 required texts for this course. I sent those out in an email about a week and a half ago, but they're here as well. Building Academic Language, 2nd edition, and Writing Revolution 2.0. There are optional texts that you are free to order if you just want as your own resources, but I, of course, will provide excerpts as needed for those texts as they are assigned readings. You'll need a copy of the New Mexico Common Core State Standards to work with, and you can absolutely download those on the link here. Assignments and grading. All assigned work, I give you till midnight the day it's due. If you need an extension on an assignment, please, please, please negotiate it with me. I understand that life happens, and this is a really, really, really quick course where there's always things going on, always things to do. So I guess what I'm trying to say is communication is so important to me. If you need an extension, let's negotiate, let's work something out, okay? However, if you haven't reached out to me or talked to me, I cannot accept late work because this class is so quick. So if you know you're going to be turning in an assignment late or you're going to need to, the first thing to do is to reach out with me or to me, and then we'll negotiate that new date, okay? So here is a breakdown of your assignments, your grading for this really quick 4-week semester. You have attendance and participation, pod group posts and responses, 2 reflections, various stages of your unit plan, an inquiry project and presentation, and then your final unit plan. Now, the cool thing is that your final unit plan should be pretty much done by the time you get to that last week because we're doing it in stages. So if it seems like a lot of work, it is, right? Because 4-week classes are insane. But I'm here to support you, right, in all of that work. So I have descriptions of the assignments here. You can absolutely read through those. I will be filming kind of assignment overview videos for the bigger assignments. I will be giving you assignment descriptions beforehand. So know that you will know what's going on at every step in this course. I feel like that is my responsibility to you, okay? Something that's really interesting is, of course, attendance is going to come from our Zoom meetings, but it also is going to come from some of these videos. Because this is an asynchronous class, I have to find other ways of counting attendance other than our one synchronous meeting. So I hope you're taking notes or making a note right now. Your attendance grade for this video is going to stem from answering the following question. I am currently in my favorite space outside of my house, which is my dance studio. So your attendance point for today will be to comment on this video with your name and just one word, your favorite space to be in. That's all I need, okay? So attendance, once again, for today is your name and your favorite place to be in. That's all you need. You can comment directly on this YouTube video, or if you don't like to comment on YouTube, you can shoot me an email. All right, back to the syllabus. Go ahead and read through what pod group posts and responses will look like, reflections, inquiry, project, and presentations, and your unit plan and reflection. Going back real quick to pod posts, I am going to, as best as I can, try to split you up into groups based on similar content areas. So take a look at those descriptions, read through them. Same thing, go ahead and read through the UNM resources and policies. Credit hour statement. Okay. You all know 4-week classes, as I mentioned, are nuts. Please plan for, I would say on average, 3 hours a day, if not a little bit more, devoted to this class for the next 4 weeks. I wish I could say that it is going to be easy. It won't be easy, but if you stay on top of your work and you reach out to me for help, you will get through this class. Okay, I promise. All right. I'm going to let you read through everything else, and then I am just coming down here to our tentative course agenda. This is, of course, subject to change, but this is going to give you a slight overview of what's going on topic-wise every day of this course, what assignments are due, and if there's a Zoom meeting, okay? So I'm going to sort of let you look through that on your own. That is the syllabus. So please, please, please come to our first Tuesday Zoom with any questions if you have them. I will open that forum if there are any questions. But for now, I want to talk about our objectives for day 1 of this course. And I also kind of want to walk us through our Canvas page as well. So you notice that from home, I'm going to go to modules. Okay. Our modules, you'll see a resource module here. This is going to have links to the Common Core State Standards and to the New Mexico Adopted Content Standards, which we'll be using. It also is going to have our weekly Zoom link, and all of your weekly overviews will be on here. So I have the week 1 overview up already. It shows you what your textbook readings are, any additional readings, PowerPoints, Google Slides, videos, and assignments, okay, for the week. Then you'll notice that for every day, I'm going to post a module, okay? This module will have what you need for that particular day. So I'm going to use day 1 as an example, kind of walk you through this. So you'll notice that the overview for each day will always say view this first. I want you to start there. When you open it, it's going to have our topics. So let's talk about our day 1 topics. Course introduction, which we're doing right now. I'm going to introduce you to some literacy frameworks, both literacy frameworks that are sort of hot news with New Mexico Public Education Department right now, and some alternative literacy frameworks as well. We're also going to talk about building academic language for secondary students across content areas. And we'll talk about content literacy and how it is informed by Common Core State Standards. Okay. So I will always list your objectives for each day here. These objectives are sort of what I'm hoping that you will understand, connect with, consider, explore through this particular day's module. Okay. So here are your objectives for the day. You're going to understand the goals, structures, and components of the course through engaging with our syllabus overview video. You're going to consider what academic language is and how to build it in your content area through reading and annotating Chapter 1 of Building Academic Language. You're going to explore connections between content literacy, the CCSS for literacy, and various educational philosophies through engaging with Chapter 1 of Getting to the Core of Literacy. Okay, I'm providing that excerpt for you and a brief informational video. And then, of course, you'll explore multiple models of literacy frameworks through engaging with, annotating, and taking notes on assigned readings, videos, images, okay? This video, when I'm done filming it, will be right under here on day 1 instructor video. So, your assignments for the day, building academic language, chapter one. You should have that text. If not, reach out. I will try to provide I'll try to provide an excerpt until you get it in. But it is, I don't always like promoting Amazon because I like to support local, but you can get this instantly via Kindle on Amazon or within a day. So, Building Academic Language, Chapter 1, Getting to the Core of Literacy, that is an excerpt that I will provide for you. There's also a nice little video on content area literacy to watch here. And then an overview of literacy frameworks, which is a page under this week's module. So what's due today? Your introduction activity, which is included under today's module, is due by tonight at 11:59. It is so important that you get this done because it's going to help me create pod groups based on your content area. Your attendance participation grade, I've already mentioned this and how to do that in this video. And then making sure that you come to tomorrow's Zoom meeting with 2 to 3 topics that you might like to build a content-specific unit around. And I'll talk a little bit about that more during our first Zoom meeting. And then there are always upcoming textbook readings for day 2 in case you want to get ahead. So the only other thing I want to mention about today's work is you'll notice that there's a page under this module that I want you to engage with called Overview of Multiple Literacy Frameworks, okay? We are going to talk about the science of reading, which is very big right now, but I want to mention that we are going to critically explore it, meaning we're going to think about its pros and we're also going to think about its cons, okay? So I'm going to kind of just breeze through this really quickly. You're going to be learning what the science of reading is. You're going to be learning about 2 models for reading and literacy instruction that fall under the science of reading. One is called the Simple View Formula. One is called Scarborough's Reading Rope. And with both of these, I really want you to think about, okay, what's not taken into account by these views of reading instruction? What is taken into account? So always being critical about these frameworks, right? And then towards the bottom, I've included a few other alternative models of literacy that I think are worth exploring. One is called balanced literacy, and one is called the active view of reading. So the active view of reading optional article I've included here, it is optional, but even if you don't read through it today, I would highly recommend at least giving it a skim. It's really thought-provoking. So I'm going to stop sharing for the moment. And I just want to say that I'm really excited for our time together for the next 4 weeks. And I want to encourage you to really stay on top of the daily work. I've taught summer classes many a time. This one I've taught before as well. And the students who are most successful are the students who are taking it day by day, right? Making sure they're on top of things, making sure they're reaching out to me if they have questions. And yeah, just, staying on top of the reading, staying on top of the assignments is key. That's all I can kind of say. But please remember that I am here to support you and help you any way that you need. Please email me. Please set up a Zoom if you're concerned. And that goes for even just questions on the syllabus or questions on this first day's module. Reach out, reach out, reach out. I'm so excited. I'm excited to meet you all. I guess I don't want to say in person, but I'm excited to see your faces on our first Zoom meeting. All right, everyone, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful day.